Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm in full cozy mode today. Full cozy mode. I brought my duvet because I don't have any other. Like, normally, when I'm living somewhere, I have my mom's quilts or I have some little, like, fuzzy throw blankets or something. And here, I was only able to bring my couple suitcases with me. And it's really, really costly to send things overseas. And because Empath Energetics next round isn't formed yet, just haven't been able to send things over. So I'm sitting here with my entire duvet, but I actually think it's such a vibe. I'm really excited for this. So let me know if you're here, when you are. And I'm going to be on today for a little bit less than an hour because I do have my Heart's Frontier current clients and Empath grad soul circle right after this. So, collective energy reading. Hey, Kate. Hey, Kate. It's Kate. I'm going to get into a collective energy reading for what we need to know today, and then I will happily do personal oracle questions. So just ask me your questions if you do have any. I'm going to pull an Empath Oracle card, as well as some abundance cards and a shaman card. So it's going to be a fun one today. I can feel it. And let's start with an affirmation. This is great. Normally I don't have so much space, but here the blanket adds so much. Oh, goodness. Would love to know how everyone's day is going, what kind of energy they feel for the week ahead. Because what's cool is all the people who watch this now, but also the people who watch in the replay, are the ones who are meant to hear this message and who will likely resonate with it. What I find really fascinating is whenever I'm in the soul circle, it doesn't matter who comes. I'll always just deliver, here's what I think is kind of going on, and everybody's nodding. And it's really strange, that we can just have this collective experience. And so energetically, we're all sort of going through similar themes, or we require similar messages. And I don't know if that's maybe like astrology based or it's just, energy, what's going on with people who are connected to me is similar, because it's almost like, it's really helpful because do you ever have a friend who's going through something and it's sort of at the same time as you? And so you can learn from each other. It's like your situations are different and maybe the way you're learning them is different, but some of the themes or some of the takeaways are the same. I think that's so cool. That's something I've found ever since I started doing work with people. It's like, wow, we do kind of move in a collective pattern. Ooh, this is one that I needed today. So good stuff. All right. Trust is my power. Trust is my power. I am trusting. I am open. I am unguarded. I let go. I let love, and I trust. I am trusting. And I like this question. It says, can you remember a time when you trusted wholeheartedly? How did it make you feel? And I have had times like this. Sometimes we go and look back at times where we perhaps shouldn't have trusted something with our whole heart, and we can be, full of self-judgment, when in reality, it's such a beautiful thing for us to be able to put our trust in someone or something, even for that moment, even if it later on seems like some sort of lapse in judgment. I always think there's a reason for us putting our faith or trust in something. I can think of lots of examples of times where I put my trust in someone in love. And even though it didn't work out long term, it was such a beautiful thing to give my heart over or to be open to that. That's what first came up for me. Okay. I'm going to pull some. These are Empath Oracle cards. So this is in honor of the Empath Energetics next round, starting up soon. I'm feeling the people getting closer and closer. I haven't had any signups yet, and that's okay. And I'm just curious to see who will end up joining this round, because I feel them like swirling around, almost like people are seeing things, thinking. But what I was feeling actually for a lot of people is kind of this fear or challenge of like, not right now, or kind of, it feels like too big, and a lot of issues of self-worth coming up. And so, yeah, maybe there'll be more to that this reading here. But the self-worth piece, it's very interesting for people who are sensitive and caring, that they often have these self-worth wounds where they don't really feel like themselves. And then they almost don't feel like, because they don't feel like themselves, they can't really even feel empathy for their own self. And then they spend their time focusing on other people to their own detriment, and really to those other people's detriment, because all the people who are meant to be in your life and who love you want to see you at your highest and best and most true. And so this fallacy of almost like we're not worth putting more energy into ourselves or taking something on that really is just for us is selfish. That's the kind of fallacy that I've been feeling. Ooh, from the Empath Oracle, we have fire. Fire for this week. I'm going to read the card, actually. Where's the little book? Oh, goodness. There it is. This little book. So it says fire, fire, fire. Fire creates or fire destroys. Each serves the other as it uses the fuel at hand. Fire as a tool to an empath is the element of transmutation. It brings back to the beginning all material matter to its basic element. Wood, as it burns its fuel, which is stored from the sun, releases the waters of its life as steam and smoke. In its wake, the ash of its physical being is left behind. The same experience of fire can be used by a skilled empath to discover the basic elements of an emotion, which may be hindering one's movement forward. And that actually really resonates as well. It's almost like out of convenience, blocking out your own feelings. And this is one of these really massive learning lessons that empaths need to go through, is that even though it's easy for us to tune into other people's energy, sometimes this act of, refusing our own, we put it up as self-protection, or we put it up as like, okay, I'll tend to my own needs later, but then we never pick that back up. And that can become a pattern that's so, so destructive. So fire creates, fire destroys. Using the fuel of passion to burn away the weeds of the past, we can soon begin to discover that which is waiting to be created. A collection of elements and energies burnt back to their purest form, with our own intention of creating from a place of illuminating light instead of stifling acrid smoke. It's interesting, since I've been doing this collective reading, I've been actually feeling like such a weight on my chest. And I wasn't feeling that before. So it does feel like something that needs to be brought up here. It's like, I feel like using this power of fire, whether that's a real fire that you burn or a candle or something like that, or whether it's just this imagining of your own internal fire, burning up all of the grief of times of the past. Like it really, I've been feeling this in the collective for a couple weeks. This itchy nose. That also doesn't happen unless I'm doing a reading. It's funny. Yeah, this feeling of like just all the stuff that was disappointing, that didn't go your way, the stuff that is like dissatisfactory, or things that you've been grieving, letting that go is almost not enough. Like burning it up, actually activating it, looking at it, and then letting it burn. It's like this feeling of what's been weighing on the heart being so heavy, and then continuing to sort of trudge on in life. And again, almost like ignoring those base emotions, where those things come from. And I do this in my life too. I'm also human, which is, I think, why I like teaching this Empath Energetics program, putting myself a little bit inside of it. so that people can see, you know, there's still things that we all work with and work through. Especially with fire, it's like going through the fire, like walking across hot coals. We know that it's going to be an uncomfortable experience, or we know that it's something that we are afraid of. And often our emotions are something that we can be afraid of, especially as a sensitive being, because they are intensified. We experience a deeper or more intensified version of our feelings. And so we do things to mute those feelings, you know. Um, I've had, you know, a sugar addiction for years that I notice is, and when I did hypnotherapy work, when I was doing my trainings for it, you know, a while ago, what I learned was that actually I was using sugar as a way to mute myself and to try and tone myself down, because that's what child Kate had picked up. And so now when I reach for sugar, I'm mindful of the fact that, you know, I don't need to be quieting myself. I don't need to be playing it small or toning myself down. You know, my full expression is welcome here. And if it's not, then I will be guided elsewhere. And to actually really, really trust in that. And same with your emotions. If your emotions feel really big, but then you keep doing things, you know, a lot of people mute things with screens, with drugs and alcohol. You know, overly socializing. I know some people who just never ever want to be still in their minds, so they're constantly reaching out. And this way is really actually separating yourself from what you do need to burn up. And so you can feel like you're moving forward or you're creating some motion. But if you're skipping these things that are really pivotal to your healing, it's really just not tending to yourself, to your own soul needs, and to these deeper parts of you that are longing to be shared with the world. And it really feels grief-based, because it doesn't feel just directly at my chest. It feels actually kind of in my lungs. It could also be like a cue for lung healing to anyone who's here and watching in the replay. But grief is definitely the feeling that I have. And so whether it's grief of people who have passed on, who have, or just perhaps friendships that have left your life, grief, I think of things not working out, of timelines not being met, of goals perhaps needing shifting. You know, this is the way of life. This is the way that we move through things. Sometimes we get to things way faster than we anticipated, and sometimes things take time. And that control over time, because we have expectations set, we can feel grief, and then we can kind of try and push past that because we think, oh, I don't want to sit in disappointment. You know, we try and talk ourselves out of it, when actually sometimes feeling into it, at least for, you know, a few hours or a day or just even a few minutes, if it's something that it just needs to be addressed rather than left behind. Okay, divine abundance is next. And then you can feel free to ask any oracle questions you like. If you ask an oracle question, I will happily answer it. I do love coming on here for that. I'm just double checking that everyone who needs to see this can see this. Do. Okay. Beautiful. Divine abundance. What do we need to see for this week? Ooh, really powerful card. And then one more. Oh, these are like the best cards I think that could have come out for this message and what I've been feeling. So yay cards, always delivering. So first we have receiving. And I was just talking about hypnotherapy and how beautiful it is. And here we also have intuition. Receiving mind is really, really pivotal. One of the things that I have found since teaching intuition now for a few years is that we as a society really struggle with being in our receiving mind. And what is the receiving mind? It is the same brainwave state, and the same headspace as when we are dreaming. We're just receiving images and things, although, you know, we're asleep. Daydreaming, you're zoning out and you're just like, la, 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 just allowing messages to come on in. It's really, really receiving in that sense. Perhaps it's also the same when you're really creative or artistic, and something is flowing through you. So it's not the doing, it's the like inspiration aspect of creativity in that sense. That's receiving mind. Same with hypnotherapy, and same with shamanic journeying. So in hypnotherapy, in a session with me anyways, I'm not sure if everyone works this way. In a session with me, I would guide you through recalling, and your brain will just sort of magically bring forward stories or moments of your life that have some sort of significance to the root issue that you're dealing with. The way your mind brings those forward is that we work on helping you relax, and I guide you into a meditative, a trance-like state, comfortably, where then your mind can be in receiving state. And I say, okay, time to bring this forward, and here we go. And then it will just do that, and it will just present it to you. This receiving state is where we get a lot of our intuitive impressions, and a lot of our dreams, our goals actually come from that place first, and then they become thought, and so let's see what this card says. Receiving. It's the same as journeying as well. So it's like we're receiving messages from the spirit realm. When I do intuitive work, I would imagine most of the time I'm in receiving mind rather than actively thinking, which is really wild. It took me a long time to let go. I was like really attached to my egoic, like my own mind of being like, I think well, and I want to be known for how I can speak things out and plan it. And, planning was like a really big part of my life. I still plan, but it's so different now. It's like intuitively led. And it's a really, really different shift to just be receiving. I ask what needs to be done, and then it kind of comes forward in front of my eyes. Kate, I see your question. I will come to it right after this. Actually, I'll switch, and then I'll kind of go back into collective energy, because that's a really cool one to ask. Okay. So receiving says, every day it becomes easier to receive the highest divine plan and to trust my inner guidance. And I guess another thought that I have about this collective energy of like sort of skirting around or avoiding the real root of our suffering, of these emotions that we're having, is that we then tune out our intuition and our internal guidance system. And we rely on the mind a lot more than actually what we need to do. I was thinking about this today, so I'm really glad this jumped back into my mind. I was walking around the property here, and it's beautiful, but it's like also really gray and kind of rainy and moody today. And that's when I tend to get a lot of good thoughts, because it's almost like I'm not distracted observing all the beautiful nature. It's like, okay, just in my own head. I don't know. It's kind of funny to describe, but I had this idea of, we talk about the idea of mindfulness a lot, but we don't often want a mind that's full. We want a mind that's actually employed less. So mindlessness is a really interesting, we call mindlessness like not thinking. When I think there's a great power to not overthinking things and to not employing thought, where intuition would be better served. And logic is meant to work hand in hand, coinciding with intuition. It's not meant to be the devil's advocate or the oppressor or, hero and villain of each other, whoever's, winning that battle. Logic is a really, really valuable thing, and intuition is a really, really valuable thing. But we never tune into our intuition if we are constantly in active thought mode. We need to employ receiving mode. And so a lot of the tools and techniques that I teach in that month 1 of Empath Energetics is all about understanding energy and intuition development. So therefore, it is also about receiving. Okay, then we have intuition. And look, it's like this eye and the heart. So I'm totally just being drawn to this image going, we need to look at what's on the heart. I have this business, Heart's Frontier, because we are, here, I think, on Earth, to explore our hearts, the emotions that come up as we experience anything in life, and how we react to those things, how we feel based on those things, guides us to that expansive place beyond our hearts where we are living out our soul mission. Intuition says each person's road to the inner Lord or inner self is extraordinary and personal. How liberating to listen inside and sense moment to moment what's needed. And so it's all about this internal guidance system, your internal GPS, your intuition. I had someone ask me this week what caused me to move to Scotland. And I was like, a series of intuitive knowings. It was like a non-question in my mind. I really wasn't ever thinking. Even I first got rejected for this job. Okay. So I got given the job 2 months after I was, rejected from it originally. And even when I was first rejected from it, I still think I'm going to get that job. I still think I'm going to Scotland. And I did what I could to say yes to all these other plans, but I was sort of unsettled thinking, no, I'm pretty sure I'm still going to Scotland. It feels really bold to say. And there wasn't any other option of how I could get here other than this awesome opportunity. And, there really wasn't another reason also, since this is really in line with what I was hoping to do in my life. And it was like it was unquestioned. And then when I got the job, it was almost like not a surprise. It was like, yeah, of course. Which is really, I mean, I like surprises. It's nice when the universe still surprises me. But it's fascinating that I was trusting my internal guidance so much in that time. And at the same time, I needed to employ logic to say, well, if I've currently got the rejection and I've got to stay here for whatever reason, I said yes to a whole bunch of things. I said yes to a lover that I was dating at the time, into moving into closer relationship with them, which was a lesson I needed to learn. I really, I just made a video about empaths and narcissists, so you can check that out. And then I also said yes to public speaking. And I wasn't going to say yes to public speaking if I was going to move, because I thought, oh, well, that's going to be so costly, all these different things, all these investments of my time. And it ended up working out great because I really needed to pursue that before I actually got here. And I wonder whether I would actually be confidently now doing more public speaking this year had I not done that. So yeah, I'm going to switch into Kate. I'm going to answer your question now, and then I'm going to get back to Shaman Oracle. I actually wonder whether this might be what I use for you as well. So, okay, I'm going to pull, Kate's question is, do I have a theme for 2023? I'm going to pull Shaman. I'm going to get a general sense. I'm going to pull Shaman Oracle card and then an Animal Oracle card. This is a great question. Do I have a theme? It's like, kind of like, I'm seeing a bird. It's like, let's go out. Let's get big picture. That's a lot of things. I'm going to take them all. And then figure it out. I see that there's a couple people on here. So if you have any Oracle question for me, now is a great time to ask it. I'll be on for maybe another 20 minutes, half an hour. I love doing these Sunday collective Oracle check-ins. I'm probably going to come back Wednesday as well. Maybe, and I've got some other videos planned too. If you have not seen, I did create a energy draining, like how people drain your energy video on under lives. And then same with empaths and narcissists. That one is a really interesting one. It's given some people something to think about, which I'm really glad about. The whole narrative that we have about narcissism, I think a lot of people know it does need to change because it's quite spiteful. It's not really super helpful. Okay. So Kate, we have Dove Spirit, which says be peace. And it's funny, I'm hearing Morning Dove, and my friend Emily just posted this cool post about Morning Doves. She's at Earth Soul Emily, if you don't follow her on Instagram. She just posted this beautiful thing about morning doves today. And I'm seeing mourning in like mourning and grief, but also mourning like morning time. And so it's really interesting. I'm seeing like also it's like a new day. And so that speaks to both, right? Like mourning and that grieving what was and what used to be, and then also seeing like a new day. And a new way, a new day, a new way. And so I feel like it's a part of your theme. I'm going to try and collectively, I'm going to try and gather basically the entire theme from these cards. But part of it, I think, is like seeing things in a new light, having like almost like a new life. Yeah. The only way you're going to do that is by employing this armadillo energy, set healthy boundaries. I've been seeing myself really different since being here because my boundaries are automatically different. And also they've needed to look different in order for me to balance this new setup. And there's also a physical boundary where it's not as easy for me to just jump over and hang out with people, right? Yeah, set healthy boundaries. Eagle spirit has your back. So I'm kind of like, what I'm getting from these animals, and there was 2 birds in that, so let's be clear, dove and eagle. So you have like this peace and also this strength with you. I'm seeing yourself be more guided this year. So it's like, I feel like you have a pretty good way of doing this actually, Kate, where like you go through life and you're like, oh, this is next. I feel like this is right. But this year it's going to be almost like these things that it's like you didn't see coming. That's what it feels like. Things that you didn't see coming and a new way coming through. Like I actually feel like maybe in the summer, you might get this like, you know what? I just feel like going into this area and it's going to be kind of drastically different than what you've been doing. You also have from the Shaman Oracle deck, the Hunter and the Smoky Mirror. So I'm going to read from these and see what I can glean for you. The Hunter. I also feel like focusing on physical well-being. So like part of this new life could also be like a renewed sense of health as well, health and vitality. And I just have this feeling of like being sick, but then taking care of that like right away. So I'm not sure what that relates to. It's sort of interesting, but it felt very like clear, like something that you're like, this doesn't feel right. And I'm just getting right on it. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. The Hunter. Yeah. And a lot of okay, this is great. It says, you need to follow the tracks left by spirit to claim your bounty, which is already prepared and being offered to you. So it's like a say yes to more kind of year. Say yes to more. And saying yes to spirit as well. It says, do not follow the maps drawn by others, as they will not lead you true. Instead, become the map maker. Find your internal compass and use all your senses, including your common sense. Remember to not want more than you need, so you are not guided by unbridled ambition. So it is kind of this feeling of like, go towards where you're being guided to rather than only in the area of wants, which might be a bit confusing because it's like, well, what I'm guided to, I generally want. But it feels like there's going to be something this year where it's like a risk. You're going to have to like take less to gain more. I don't know. It's something, it's very interesting. Like the Hunter, and how we used to hunt as humans would be to like endure and to chase something out for long enough that it gets exhausted. And then, we can be like, great, that's our dinner. And then we take it home. It's such an arduous thing. I don't feel like this year is just going to be like some tough journey in that way, but it is going to be about enduring even in the face of like doubts or maybe other people not understanding, and pushing those kinds of fears to the side. This smoky mirror feels like it's going to wrap this up for me. So hopefully, yeah. It's like a new life you didn't see coming. So it's very important to like know that you right now can't see it, because it's really important to kind of like be able to suspend that disbelief of like, well, things are going all right, or yeah, it'd be cool to get something new, but wouldn't I need to know what that looks like? Actually, no, in this case, it's going to smack you in the face. Spirit's going to land it right in front of you, and you're going to get this inkling. And as long as you follow that inkling, it'll be like, whoa, the path gets really easily laid ahead of you. But if you were to like neglect it because it doesn't really make sense, you run the risk of staying in like old life or old patterning. And I do see like new body healing as well as part of this. Okay. The smoky mirror can represent a state of denial or the inability or refusal to see the truth. So it's kind of this like collective energy feeling, that emotion that I was talking about, sort of like the aspects of what is implied yet cannot be immediately known in the world. So like the mystery of how things come together. It's like trusting in great mystery and accepting new life. That's what this feels like overall. Now is the time to trust that no matter what the current conditions of your world reflect, in the hidden realms, and I would say in the spirit realms and in the non-ordinary reality, all aspects of the human journey are celebrated. The beauty and the darkness, the misery and the courage. It's like I'm seeing a Little Mermaid and her like wanting more, and she wants more and she wants more, but she actually never really knew what it would be like to be on land. And in the old version of that fairy tale, for her to get legs, she would feel like she was walking on glass or something like that. There was some sort of like, it was very painful for her to have the legs, but she was like, nope, it's worth it. I'm going to trade. And in this case, there's not going to be that con, but there is going to be the fear. You're going to almost be like, I'm pretty sure that's not the way to success, but it will be your way to success. Understanding the shadow of the human journey requires that you go deep into your story to discover the wound that prevents you from seeing the truth of your current situation. So maybe some shadow work is in the cards, on tap for you. I was like trying not to make an on the nose card joke, but maybe some shadow work helps clear out where some of these limitations or fears would be. I'm going to pull a collective energy reading, and then I will do Alexandra's. Hi, Alexandra. Kate, I would love to know if this resonates for you, if you're still on this call or this YouTube live. If you could kindly give me more info on you and Jess, past, not future. But what was... Oh, you're welcome, Kate. You're welcome. I'm really excited for you. I think there's going to be some cool, like unearthing. Maybe Kali energy. It's like burning stuff up, destroying, getting rid of all the stuff that doesn't work. It's like, I've had it. But it's all like individually led. Like you're going to know what you feel called to, but it's like, yeah, you've got this. It's very much, you've got this. Okay. Give you more information if you ask me to while reading. Don't want to influence anything. Alexandra, if you can, I guess I want to know, do you want me to read into like some sort of past life situation, or would you like me to answer a specific question about the past? I would say the past is really only relevant as it relates to our present and our future. And so, being an oracle, I tend to read the future, but I'm totally fine reading past life or reading into the past, but I would ask for a more specific question. So give me any information that you wish. I know some of the basics, but yeah, give me any information you wish, or feel free to ask the question that you're not sure about asking. I really am feeling like, I better be okay here physically after the reading, because I really am feeling a lot of like caught energy in this heart space, chest space, the lungs, and this grieving what used to be, grieving what we wanted for that didn't come to pass. And that's the general energy that we're shifting through this week. So, hey, at least we're shifting through it, and we're shifting through it together. Also, I will say, I feel this. I totally am actually, the more I talk here, I'm like, yeah, there is a part of that's going on in me as well. And not in some really dark place, but just in the, sometimes I have to actually sit with, what are some things that I thought would go different, or that I wanted to go different, and to let go of that, to realize that those parts of me clinging are parts of me that are also yanking me backwards in time. And that right now, this current moment is so beautiful, and it's so full of opportunity and potential. It has so much more potential than any other moment in the past, and it is full and ready to be accessed. And so to really maybe some breathing out, right? Just to exhale all those things that Sometimes what I do actually is I give my woes to the earth. I'll oh, this thing is feeling hard to carry. And then I'll just put it in the earth and say, send it back, throw it in the water, throw it in the dirt. Here it's easy because I look out over to the city. So I can be like, throw it into the Ness River, let the Loch Ness monster, Nessie, just let her take it, take it out to sea. Okay. So I pulled this collective energy card for the Shaman Oracle, and then I'm going to wrap up the collective part. I just wanted to jump in and do Kate's there, and then I will do Alexandra's Oracle reading. So we have the Ghost Dance, 22. I saw 1111 today, which was lovely. I'm not seeing as many repeated numbers as I sometimes do. I kind of go through phases with that. So it does feel like a new beginning kind of time. And 1111 is all about new beginning and finding alignment, finding our personal alignment. Yes, the ancestors have a message of healing and a powerful medicine to offer us. The Ghost Dance. This is about uniting with our ancestors. And I was actually doing work with one of my clients this week and another one actually, all with uniting ourselves to the non-ordinary, to the upper realm specifically. Uniting with the upper realm means we feel guided and we feel like we have the support of our spirit team on our side. And so I helped a client with uniting with their ancestors. And then this other guide came in who wasn't even an ancestor, which I loved. And so this is the energy of this week, is when we feel like our burdens are too much, to remember that our spirit team is already ready, already there, already a part of this mission. And so we are not carrying anything that we are not capable of carrying. And the stuff that feels too heavy, again, we can bury it in the earth, let it be, send it back to source. So this also is about honoring your past lives. So if we're feeling like a density or like a repeat pattern, something that's been intensifying, it may be time to do some past life work. I'd be happy to do some past life work this week if anyone wants to book a session. I don't always feel in the mood for it because it's like, oof, it's like talking about time, you can really get into some big conversations that way. But yeah, it could be really, really beneficial and powerful. I know for me, it's been really potent at times where I've recognized a past life recall to accept some part of myself that needs healing in this lifetime. And it sort of puts a shape to it. It puts a story to it that is helpful. Sometimes stories are helpful. Okay, the ancestors have a message of healing and a powerful medicine to offer us. Create a sacred moment at your altar, light a candle to them, and let their wisdom infuse you. At this stage in your life, you are done repeating their tragic stories. Step into the abundance that is offered to you. Receive the gifts of those that have come before you and write a new story for your life. This is something I have been feeling so heavily. It's like this breaking of patterns in my family line and stepping aside from the way my family does things has been really weighing on me. It's been really, that's the grief. Some of what I've been feeling is I worried that when I moved, I would have less connection with my family. And that has showed up to be true, no matter the efforts that I was putting in and the things that I was hoping for or asking for. And as much as that has been really tough to swallow, there is a beautiful purpose. And I don't believe this is going to be long lasting, which is helpful for me for sure. Thank goodness I'm psychic, right? I can lean into knowing this doesn't need to last forever. But carrying with me the idea that my ancestors are supporting me, my spirit guides are guiding me through this time. My family will benefit from the work that I put in, hermiting and being focused and allowing this new expression of self to come forward. There's a pattern of accepting status quo and also a pattern of resentment for not having more in life that is carried through my family line. This resentment for not having more or feeling deserving of more and then things not aligning, it's something I'm not willing to accept in my life. The spirits are coming through and saying, you are meant to live a beautifully expansive life, and it starts here. It starts now, or it's already started, however they deliver it in that moment. Getting rid of the grief of separating from things that you once attached to is step one to then accepting what needs to come forward. So anyone who's here on a live chat, that's the end of this collective part of the reading. So now feel free to ask your questions. I've already answered Kate's. I'm going to answer Alexandra's. If Alexandra has an expansion upon this question, if you have something a little more to add, feel free. Let me know if, what would you like to know? Because you would not like to know the future. But I would like to know why, or what you would like understanding on. Usually there's a reason we want to, or there's like something that we're trying to understand about our past. So, and I'm going to pull a botanical inspiration card. Oh, hey, Kashish. Welcome back. Oui. All right. Yeah, let me know what your question is. Alexandra, is there anything more that you want to say? We have love at first sight. This is reading into a connection with Alexandra. You need to know what's between you. What is between you? So not what is the past or what is now between you. It says love at first sight and proud spirit. So this is something I really feel is true. It says, when I saw you, I fell in love and you smiled because you knew. There's something about this like familiar recognizing of each other, the past and now, not the future. So it was like this familiar recognizing of each other, kind of just like, I see you, you see me. There's some reason that we can just understand. There's like a familiarity. I also feel that you see in each other and saw in each other. I think you see in each other a way that you could be that is different. You see each other in a way that is better or more light or more powerful than you are now. And because of that, you also feel a sense of pressure within the dynamic. Sometimes, which is, I feel like I need to be this. I feel like I need to be that. I see this in you. I see that in you. And it's sort of like, it's not exactly defined, but it's almost like this pressure of what could be for each of you is actually internally felt. So it's almost like when you think more of your expectations of the other person, or the potential, your hope, or what they maybe could grow to be, it almost puts more of a wedge between you two. And then when it's accepted what is, you sort of have an easy time coming together. And that's because in order to evolve, we actually need to separate energetically. It's usually not done right together. And that's why as masculine, feminine energies, we weave in and out, and we weave in and out, and we have sort of polarity and then unity, and polarity and unity. So what brings you into polarity is actually expecting or thinking that the other person should be or could be better, greater, or more than they are. And it's that acceptance that's allows you to be in unity. And it's such a beautiful thing. But if you're not mindful of it, when you get into polarity, it could be really, really intense, because both people feel the weight of that expectation. And if they don't feel proud of themselves, or if they don't feel happy with themselves, or if they're feeling some sense of, discomfort or unhappiness from each other. I just realized I had these tucked in to my shirt because I was hanging out with a dog earlier, and she kept chewing on them and then not letting go. And I'd have to like pry her jaw from these. It's really funny. Okay, you have another one. So this was Gloxinia. I knew you'd like that, Alexandra. And then you also have Red Rose, which is hidden secrets. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And so this feels like when you met each other, it exposed your truth in some way. And so there's parts of yourselves, both of you, that have come out that feel ugly to you, but that's not necessarily how the other person feels it. The other person, and this is flip on both sides, the other person feels it as like, oh, this is making me emotional. The other person feels it as actually like they love getting to know the truth of who you are, and all they wish to know, and both of you feel this in some sense, all of what you wish to know is like the true self that lies underneath the shadowy exterior. the shadows that each of you show are really different from each other. The ways that you act out or the ways that you don't act like yourself and act in darker ways, they don't match each other. And so when you see those and they're contrasted, that's when this polarity happens as well. And hidden secrets, this red rose, I also see it as like there's a fear of showing one's true self. So a lot of this dynamic has come up so that you can each transform into greater versions of your full self. And yet at the same time, some of what that's doing is triggering up all of these ways where you're not acting like true self. And only you can be in charge or aware of your own, and only Jess can be aware of and in charge of his own. And that's what's a challenge, because often when we're in romantic connection, we think we need to do things together. And I have done this many times in my life, where I've felt like, we both see a beautiful way for each other. And perhaps sometimes that person can see it more clearly than you. So you think, let's do this together. And in actuality, that polarity, when you start to feel it, is a time for you to self-focus. I would say separation is preparation for then coming together. And so those times that you've felt separated, you've always been preparing in some sense yourself for when that reconnection will happen, when that unity will actually be integrated. Let me know if this is resonating, Alexandra. And if anyone else has a question, I'm happy to answer. Kashish, I see you're here as well. Happy to answer any oracle questions. I'm on here for a few more minutes. And if you didn't catch the beginning, I did do a collective energy read. And so, it does. Good. Okay, good. I'm glad. Yeah. So there is definitely a great purpose for having how you walked into each other's lives and the way that you are serving each other in going toward. Yeah. And if you're in a separation mode, or if there's a lot of polarity, that division that you feel, then it is a time to focus your energy entirely on your own healing and your own expansion. And so this is a time for clearing out your own shadows. He's upset and thinks he doesn't love you anymore. Yeah. And this intensity that, so I won't read into the future as you asked me not to, but this intensity that comes up, again, thinking about the way his shadow shows up, he could feel very much so not deserving. Not deserving is the energy I feel with him. Because you see him as so deserving, it is triggering. So in a sense, it's difficult for him to accept. And this not deservingness is not something it is possible for you to shift. I feel there will be a way that you will talk again. So again, I'm not going to read into it too far. There will be a way that you talk again. And at the moment, the highest thing you could do would be to remove all pressures, remove all expectations, to simply love yourself and share in that would be the highest gift that you could give both of you. Because to love yourself is then to emulate that out, to role model that out. He thinks we are friends only, no more love. So, put that love back into yourself. If what you're getting from your external world, and if the mirror that you're getting is there's not love, and you wish that there's more love, add that love first in to yourself without any expectation, without any even without any pressures as well. That's what it feels like. And to remove all the grief of how things have not in your mind worked in the past. That's what this energy is this week. It's all about lifting grief of how things could have gone better or not, or anything in the past. Okay, Kashish. I just appeared on teacher's eligibility exam. Svetlana, ask your question. I'm almost done. So ask your question. Yes. Okay, Kashish. I just appeared on teacher's eligibility exam today. What do you think about that, or any guidance on my career? Divine Abundance cards coming out again. I'm loving it. Okay. Some of what I'm feeling, Kashish, is almost like, it's like, I'm seeing, it's really funny. I'm just seeing someone like standing in place. Like they're like hopping back and forth, standing in place. It's like very exciting, but they're not moving anywhere. And so I'm getting like, it's like keep taking calm and certain steps forward. So it's sort of like an act as if that went exactly how it needed to go, and just keep stepping forward. It's like, don't pause just because you did that today. It's like, let it keep going, keep taking steps, keep taking, and steps even in other directions as well. It's interesting. Had my feet crossed for too long here. They're going to fall asleep. Okay. Kashish, guidance on career. Woo. Lots of things. Guidance on career. Okay. Yeah. Liberation. The doubts and fears still come up. You don't believe anymore that they're you. So what if everything moving forward went exactly how you designed it to from this day forth? So you get this exam, it goes great, you get offered the job of your dreams, you then get offered some kind of promotion. Just spend some time, honestly, writing out and dreaming out things and how you feel that they could go if they went best. And even, I would say, add in things about your hobbies and what type of lifestyle you have around that. What kind of breakfast you take? What kind of lunch do you take to work? Like really, really, like you can get specific about your visions. And then these doubts or fears that will come up, or maybe even the fear of not being sure, or the doubt of like, I'm going to apply, but maybe I'll get a middle of the line thing rather than an awesome thing. That's just a limitation. That's just a fear, a doubt that you've made up. And you don't need to identify with it at all anymore. It just doesn't need to be a part of you. You also have your path. So another piece of guidance for your career. It says, "Dear Lord, help me trust that there's a plan far beyond what I can see through my fears and illusions." So that's like exactly what I was just saying. So it might be a good week, and this is a good week for all of us to really face head on and clear out all of these little fears and things that are kind of just, they're acting as if they're protecting us. Okay. These fears, these deeper fears that we have, are acting as if, and they were there for some reason. And this is what I've found through hypnotherapy work, is they act as if they're there, but yet, like, to serve a purpose, but yet they're really just holding you back from what your deeper purpose actually is. Your deeper purpose here as a spiritual being is to be clear and in full trust, and to be able to say yes to your heart's desires. So if everything was abundant and expansive and worked exactly how you hoped it would, what would that even look like? And just spend some more time with that. And it will be more obvious what your specific path looks like. Kashish, let me know if that resonates with you, or if there's anything else that comes up here. I feel like that's, it's good. It's sort of like, it's awakening in you this more powerful, confident version of self. You are not one in a number. You are like, so yeah, you're not stopping here at all. This is it. That's exactly the energy I feel. So keep writing out and keep thinking out what it looks like, and what it is you crave, what it is you want. Absolutely. And you want to pursue an MA? Yep. And so however it is, you want that, you want this other thing, while you're doing the MA, you also want to be doing this, write it all out. I really feel that's important. And maybe keep it up somewhere where you can be looking at the dream instead of looking at the things interrupting the dream. You're going to have tons of things that come your way that wasn't in the plan, but then later on totally pays off. So every step that you've taken is a step you are meant to have taken. I absolutely believe that. I took film school, and I don't currently work in the film industry. Obviously, I'm here. But when I was in film school, I was so stressed. I had like the weight of the world on my shoulders because I had all these psychic dreams about me doing healing work. And I was like, what the heck? I'm so far from that. I'm nowhere close to that. That wasn't what I was planning for at all. And now I've messed everything up. And like, it's going to take me so long. And I basically invested, I had been working since I was 12 years old. And all of my money went into 3 years of this film program. And I felt like, oh my gosh, everything I worked so hard for, I don't even get to travel now. I don't get to, now I have to start from square one. It wasn't starting from square one at all. There's some really beautiful ways that I've been able to weave in my understanding of film. I mean, even just being able to be confident to be here on camera, that's partly because of this time that I spent in film school, because I would often offer to sit behind the lens so I could see what everyone else was doing behind the screens. So everything has its purpose, whether you see it in the moment or not. And I really feel that's true for you, Kashish, that you're going to do many things in different areas. So I just want you to, it really feels important that I keep telling you to write it down and keep it somewhere that you can see, that you can visualize. Svetlana, what to expect in my love life next? What kind of man will he be? What kind of man will he be? Let's see. This is the one we're going to end on today, because I do have to jump over to Soul Circle Oracle. Soul Circle Oracle is for all the people who are current clients or Empath Energetics grads. And you all should probably know about the Empath Energetics program. I'm still accepting signups for it. We are going to start as soon as the group comes together. I'm going to kind of have it as a soft opening, because every year and every time I do this, it's never like right on the date that I expect. So I'm not going to try this time. So I'm going to quickly go through this. Svetlana, thank you for your question. And you can always come back and read this if I'm being too quick and you want to come back. I'll save it on the live. Yeah, keep trusting, Kashish. That's a good energy to stay in. Keep trusting and keep doing intuitive work. You're going to see more and more come out as to these other directions that I feel coming forward for you. So, Svetlana, you have teacher. I feel like this person is going to, I feel like this man is going to like want to teach you things. And sometimes, so I'm just telling you this right now, sometimes you're going to be like, oh my God, why does he always have to explain everything to me? But then you're going to like see it for what it is. You're actually going to respect the fact that like he's telling it to you because he wants to support you. And there's going to be some times where what he teaches you is exactly what you needed to know. There's going to be other times you go, okay, thanks. And maybe you just go in your other direction. But he's going to have this quality where he like always wants to be helping and teaching. And so it's really important that if you're faced with that, and I actually feel like you have a bit of like this independent spirit, which I totally get. I love that. I have a bit of it myself. And sometimes I can feel feisty if someone's like telling me what to do. I'm like, get out of here. Don't tell me what to do, but it's really, most of the time, it's not people trying to tell us what to do. They're just telling us what they know. They're telling us what they would do. And so that's something that is, I think, going to come out really quickly for you in your journey. I'm just starting this soul circle here so that if they log on, they know that I'm coming on in. Okay, cool. So then you have pioneer. I feel like this person that you meet is going to introduce you to something that you didn't know. So they're going to have some kind of hobby, maybe dance or something. I don't know if you already dance, but I feel like I'm seeing dance. And they're going to have this kind of like move forward energy. And that move forward energy is going to be like, whoa, this person's a lot. But at the same time, it's kind of like that energy you need in a sense to sort of like stir things up. They're going to bring a bit of excitement to your life. And I do see them introducing you to something new because they just want to do something that they haven't done before, or that they want to do things with you that you've never done before. So like maybe when they plan dates or you plan dates together, they'll be like, have you done this yet? Have you done that? Have you done this? And they like don't want to repeat things. And lover. Yeah, I totally have like a general sense of this person's energy as being like, you're going to see them almost like, I don't know if I can trust you, but that's your own stuff. That's like stuff of the past. All that we have in the moment is our feelings. And if you feel like, sure, why not? Then keep trusting on that. This does feel like someone new. It might be someone that you've met before, but not someone that you've dated before. It might be someone, like, if you know them, it's like they've maybe said that they might be interested, but then you just like brush them off. Or it's just someone new, but it feels like a new energy more so to me. This lover energy is really funny. I see them kind of being like a lover spirit, which is willing to devote themselves to you, which is kind of, oh, bye, Kashish. Thank you for being here. And yeah, the lover energy, it says great passion and devotion. And so I see them being passionate and devoted to you, which is sort of, you're going to be like, I don't know if I can trust that. Like, normally when a guy acts like this, it's for some reason. And for them, it's just for the reason of love. And that's it. They're just like totally unashamed. They're unashamed. And you might have a bit more shame than them in this situation. And then we also have priest. I do see that they will be connected to some sort of spiritual community, but I also have the sense that they might be part of, this is weird. I've never been faced with this one. I kind of have this feeling like this person might be connected to a spiritual community that doesn't actually really resonate with them. So they might like be all gung-ho, like, oh yeah, have all this energy. And maybe it's like because of the way they grew up, or maybe it's just because they have some friends, or maybe it's just a weird yoga class that they go to, or some sort of like something that it feels a little like, I don't feel like there's someone who's going to like stick to that forever, but it's really important to know that there's a reason this person cares about these groups or whatever this thing is that you're going to sense. It just feels like something that you're unfamiliar with in a spiritual sense, they're going to be connected to. And it doesn't feel like it's going to necessarily last for them, or that those people are going to stay in this person's life for too much longer after. But instead of jumping to judgment, what I'm seeing is like understanding that the reason they're pursuing that is because they want to feel lined up and like a channel. They want to feel like a spiritual alignment to something. And then that's what that means. And it's not meaning they're aligned with all these things that they're saying that they're aligned with. It means that they're on a spiritual journey and they're pursuing it. So that's very exciting. I'm also seeing like this person is really fit. Appearance and profession. I feel like this person is really fit. I'm not going to read into their profession. I don't think that that's super important. I actually feel like there's someone who has switched around a few times, and I could see them maybe doing some kind of consulting, like being asked for their guidance or advice on stuff. But I could see them being in between things even when you meet them. I don't see them being a mega stable career person, but yet they have their own way of stability. It's like a wavy sea is still a sea, you know what I mean? And I don't see that affecting you or impacting you. So yeah. And I see really fit, maybe some kind of like tan, like they kind of take their like health and they want to look like they've been out in the sun. That's what I get so far. So hopefully you meet them soon. And feel free to come back. I'm going to do oracle readings again later this week. And if you are wanting to get to your own energetic clarity about your own life, I would highly recommend that you take Empath Energetics so you don't have to keep coming to an oracle. So you can do this for yourself. It's my favorite thing to do. I'm going to go jump over right now to the Empath grads, as I can see they're starting to fill up in the Soul Circle room. And I will be back later this week. If you haven't watched the Empaths and Narcissists video, and also the energy draining people videos, they're under my lives and I highly recommend them. And I highly recommend, if you're thinking about working with me, that you take this opportunity for Empath Energetics. It's the only one that I'm going to run this year. And it's going to be a really good group. I feel the energy already coming in. I feel people circling in. I'm really excited to see who says yes. So enjoy the rest of your Sundays, everyone. Take care and enjoy your week if I don't see you.